Hi, we're here with my lovely friend Michelle and her 5.5-month-old baby, and we're going to do a little yoga this morning. So let's start out with our feet at shoulder width and drop the shoulders as the arms come up, spiral and inhale, retain and exhale. We have a beautiful sound of the rain over our heads here. Inhale and retain and exhale. And on the third one, arms up. Inhale, step together and bring our hands into prayer. Bow our head and take a moment to set an intention for our practice today. A friend, a family member, a community, maybe someone who's ill, an idea. And also come into your breath, the Ujjayi breath, the victorious, gentle breath, and step out. And let's start with the wrists. Full range of motion. And in traditional yoga, the wrists and the ankles are the keys to flexibility in the body. And it's also important as a professional dancer, you do a lot of wrist work. It's one of the things you really notice about dance is how graceful people's hands and wrists are. So it's good to start with that and also to stretch the fingers, because we do so much work with our hands contracted like this. We want to stretch them. Good. And then even with the hands flexed, move the wrists up and down in space. Beautiful. Feel the forearms? It's lovely. I was just noticing as we were doing this on Tuesday and I was going around and teaching it to people that a lot of people's wrists were locked, and just by when I moved them like this, I felt them actually adjust. Then they felt better. And now elbows, but keeping that movement in the wrists. Beautiful. Feeling that full range of motion in the elbows. And that starts to move the arm up into the shoulders ever so slightly in reverse. It's really fun as a yoga teacher to work with someone who's got a lot of training in dance and yoga. It's also fun to work with people who are doing yoga for the first time and see that all that awareness come and those aha moments. And now shoulders. Start to bring the shoulders forward and up and back. And then as you do that, tucking your pelvis, beautiful. So what we're doing here is starting to warm up the whole spine. And you can see from the side, if we turn and face each other, there, now I can see your pretty face, that we're making a C and starting to open up that middle part of the back, the thoracic spine, also the lumbar spine, and then reverse it. Beautiful. Doesn't that feel awesome? Yeah. This gets the rotator cuff muscles all working, and the pecs and the lats, and starting to engage the abs. We want to keep the abs gently engaged during the whole practice, and that pelvic floor, the mula bandha. And stop. Now, bring the back of the wrist together and drop the shoulders down. Yes, and bend the elbows ever so slightly. That allows us to drop the shoulders down. And now roll and come out and flip your hands over. Nice. So this is a restorative, a good warm-up, and also a good restorative sequence to do. And you can really feel how that starts to really warm up your middle, huh? Which is a special place for you. But for everyone, that's where we want to build that warmth, that Agni, the digestive fire, where you digest the world, the third chakra. And now let's reverse it. Start with the hands out and bring it in. Good. And you can see as you soften the knees and we come down. Beautiful. And we always want to keep an awareness on what's going on with our feet. Are we tensing our feet? Keeping our feet nice and relaxed. And 2 more. Beautiful. And now hands down. And now elbows out to the side. And spiral the hands up. Beautiful. And turn and look over the right. Feel that spinal twist all the way from your ankle up through your body. Inhale back to the center. Good. And turn and look to the left. A spinal twist. Twist the spine and also all the organs back to the center. And now up and over to the right. Beautiful. Stretching the sides. And up. And over to the left. Yummy. Keeping those abs just a little bit engaged. And back to the center. And over. And into our first forward bend. Just gently letting the hamstrings release. Start to stretch. Relaxing the back and the shoulders and neck. Now soften the knees, tuck the pelvis, roll up 1 vertebra at a time, keeping the chin tucked. Clasp the hands, spiral up. And this time drop the hands down behind the neck, small circles. So you want to put your hands down a little bit so that your occiput sort of rests on those little fingers. And that allows you to create space in those upper C1 and C2 vertebrae. You always want to be thinking about creating space between the vertebrae. Allow all that good information to flow up through the body into the brain and back down and tell the body what to do. And now move the hands down to the middle of the neck, C3 and C4. And feel those spaces. And reverse. Might get a little crick or a crack in there. Sometimes people will say to me, "Oh, my neck makes a lot of noise." I'm like, "Good, that means you know you're alive." Now hands on the upper traps and the shoulders and get those lower cervical vertebrae, nice big circles. But it is true that the more of this work you do, the fewer of those little pops and cracks you'll have, because your body will stay in alignment and you'll have more space in there. Good. And now bring the hands down. Elbows out, spiral up. And behind the head. And this time, roll over into forward bend and let your hands provide some traction there. And just let your elbows drop down. Nice. So bring your hands way up here and then just let that sit and then let your elbows just drop. Feel how that creates nice space in your neck. So this is an awesome way to give yourself a little self-traction. And that really creates that beautiful line and lets all the tension run out of your head. Good, beautiful. And one more breath. And tuck the pelvis and roll up. Beautiful. And inhale. And exhale down. And now bring the arms up and out. Maybe for this one we'll turn and face the camera. And we're going to point to the right and engage that right lat and those right obliques. And now point and look to the left. And tuck your pelvis just a little bit. Feel how that engages the core. So this is really good shoulder work, but also really good core work. And now point and look to the right. and point and look to the left. Beautiful. This time spiral the right hand up and the left hand back and really curl that left shoulder forward. And now spiral in the other direction. Beautiful. Nice, Michelle. And now feel that spiral as you move your left hand. Feel it go across, up your arm, across your back, and out your right arm. Feel that ringing action? Beautiful. I love this one because it really warms up all of the shoulder girdle. And one more time, spiral. And spiral. And back to center. And this time, bring your hands up and then right arm down. This is a new one. We haven't done this one yet. And we're going to point our right fingers to the left and our left fingers to the right. Yes, beautiful. So feel how that as you push down and you're looking back, you knew intuitively to look back at your hand that you're pushing back there and really flexing that wrist. Feel how that engages the lat? Yeah, beautiful. So you're like, it's like you're the same thing as in these things, you're feeling that energy all the way across. So this is actually really a strength building exercise as well as a stretch. And then back to the center and other side. Right fingers pointing to the left and left fingers pointing to the right. Beautiful. Gets this nice stretch across the front of all of the abs, and then back to the center. Beautiful. Yes, also, yeah, people, when we're teaching, I'll see people going, and I'm like, that's good, you're building, yeah, even deltoids. Yes, it's really good. So then we bring our arms up and back down. And now spiral up. And this time we're going to just move the upper body. Yes, nice. And what we're doing here is really getting some good movement in the thoracic spine. Nice. Because that's where we have a lot of tension when we sit at our computers all day. And I see a lot of people that sort of have pain in that part of their spine. This really helps to do these circular movements. And now, bring the hands down and on the kidneys, and then start the hips. So opening up the hip flexors, pushing forward, and getting a full rotation in that hip joint, that ball and socket joint. We want to warm that up for all of our vinyasas and poses. Lots of folks have tight hip flexors, and it's a natural thing if you're sitting in a chair a lot, and reverse. And if you're walking a lot, and for people who are bike riders, I have one regular student who's a professional biker and his bike rider, and he does a lot of hip flexor work because it really helps his sport to be able to stretch that out. Yes, he's always in flexion, exactly. And now we're going to put those two together. We're going to spiral the hands up again, and we're going to move the hips in a circle and also the rib cage. And feel how that really gets that movement there in the middle of the body. Beautiful. And reverse. So a lot of the work we do, the preparatory work we do for yoga, is really to warm up the spine and also to warm up this whole navel area. And now bring our hands down again. This time step together and knee rotations. This starts us working the knees and also